Muy bien. Vale, vamos a empezar. Hoy es la primera clase del otoño y vamos a tener clases hasta el 14 de diciembre. We're going to have classes till December 14th. So it's a nice long stretch. And we don't get the boot for any meetings or people needing rooms or any of that. So we're in good shape. Para que sepan, so that you guys know, para que sepan, we're going to do, and bear with me while I fiddle around a little with my things here. In general, one thing I want to focus on during this fall season is a lot of little words and how they fit in together. Little words that you will hear a lot. And typically they'll throw you a little because you'll have this little island of this short little word. Did I even hear that word? Yes, you did. What did it mean and why is it there? And how does it change the idea you're trying to communicate? So just to give you an idea of what these little words are that we'll try to focus on, there'll be words like, and this is the one we'll be using today, se, words like le, words like lo, la, mete and nos, little tiny short words. Basically they're pronouns, but they do have kind of a big impact on the idea somebody is communicating to you. And the important thing will be to know how they fit together in the structure of the sentence, not just what the word say by itself means. Because to be honest with you, it's in particular for say, that's like totally not helpful because say has so many different meanings. But what all these little words meaning is, especially the lo and the le, because you'll hear those thrown around a lot. And if you play around with, aquí viene Trish, muy bien. And if you play around with Duolingo in particular, wow, you're going to hear those all the time and see them in the writing. And you'll say like, why is that word there? And that's confusing. So we're going to try to talk about those. It's actually kind of a big category of words. But it's important that you know what they mean so that it feels logical when you hear people using them and that you can use them yourself. So that'll be the big idea, but there'll be a lot of other ideas and a lot of other review. And always feel free to suggest new ideas of things that you want to do if I am not, something I haven't set up, but you do want to work on. Always feel free to let me know and either leave it in the chat box or email your idea to me or, lo que sea, whatever it may be. Okay. Durante esta clase hoy vamos a practicar muchísimo con se. We're going to practice a lot with this word se today and next session as well. It is, oddly enough, for a teeny tiny word spelled with an S and an E, ese, se, oddly enough, for such a tiny word, it can mean about 6 different things. So we're going to start with probably the easiest thing today. And please know that when we have this little lesson this week and maybe carrying over into next for sure, you will not know all the meanings yet of se, but you'll know one important meaning that a lot of people will use. But we're going to begin with something that has nothing to do with se. We're going to begin with something that is a review. Es un repaso. This is going to be a little icebreaker. And I'm going to put up my whiteboard to show you what you're going to be practicing. Because I'm going to send you out into breakout rooms. to practice this idea here. Voy a. Pueden ver, can everybody see? Pueden ver, can you guys see? Pueden ver, sí, magnífico. Ok, voy a. Vamos a practicar voy a o vamos a. Y la la palabra a es importante. That little a word is important. Voy a, y lo que tenemos que usar es un infinitivo. Un infinitivo. This is one of those things, as we're coming into a new season, el otoño, estamos en el otoño. We're in fall now, ¿verdad? Quiero que ustedes practiquen. I want that you guys should practice, in your breakout rooms. Ustedes van a practicar el uso de voy a o vamos a con infinitivo. Como por ejemplo, voy a repetir la palabra sé hoy. Hoy voy a repetir la palabra sé muchísimo. Today I'm going to repeat the word sé a lot. Okay? Como, por ejemplo, vamos a hablar del futuro. We're going to talk about the future. So I want you either to use voy a or vamos a, but the word you need after the a is always an infinitive because we never conjugate those two words, those two actions next to each other, right? Entonces, por ejemplo, voy a repetir sé muchísimo hoy. I'm going to repeat sé a lot today. Quiero engrandecer. I'm going to make that bigger. O, por ejemplo, vamos a practicar hablando del futuro. Futuro. I'm going to, vamos a, we're going to. But you're always going to need this little word in between the form of ir and the infinitive. And that second one always has to be an infinitive. We don't conjugate the second verb. It will never be voy a repito or vamos a practicamos. That would sound totally weird and totally throw somebody because they would, their brain would be trying to figure out what you're trying to say. Vamos a practicar, voy a repetir. Ustedes van a practicar con tres ideas. When I put you into the breakout rooms, I want you to use 3 ideas. Talk about what you're going to do this fall, el otoño, what you're going to do or what we're going to do. I want you to come up with 3 ideas. I want your partner to come up with 3 ideas. I'm probably only going to give you 3 to 5 minutes because I think that's all it's going to take. So while I'm blabbing here, mientras estoy hablando, I am talking, maybe start to think of some infinitives you're going to want to pair up. You might want to get fancier and talk about mi amigo y yo vamos a, my friend and I, we are going to. You may want to, get a little fancy with that. And then once you're done, we'll bring everybody back, see if you've got any examples to share, see if you have any questions, because this will be a short breakout room for this one. ¿Todos entienden, verdad? Bueno. Van a practicar. No tienen que escribir nada. You don't have to write anything, although if you need to do that kind of to help yourself think about it a little more, of course, that is fine. Vamos a ver. Somos 10. Okay. So I am going to put you into groups of 2 today. do remember when I open the breakout rooms to hit the join button. That's really important. Okay, and this is just as a warm up. Don't feel like you gotta be perfect, just to get some ideas out. ¿Hay preguntas antes de empezar? Are there any questions before beginning or no? No? Okay. Vamos a ver. We'll put you in some breakout rooms. Aquí vamos. Here we go. I'm setting my timer so I make sure I don't go over.
Hola, it's Diane.
Oh, sí, dime.
The sound, was I with Dorothy? The sound was breaking up. I saw no picture
Oh.
and a broken up sound.
Okay. So do you want me to try to come into that breakout room?
Yeah, and see, maybe you can see what the problem
Let me
is.
do that. Okay. Okay. ¿Pueden escucharme? Can you listen? ¿Pueden oírme? Can you hear me? Uy, a ver. Eso no. Anybody hear me? I can't hear you guys back.
I can't hear. I cannot hear you now. No.
I have to unmute myself. Ahora sí. Now, yes. Okay. Vale, magnífico. Dorothy, I don't know if you can hear us. I can see your screen. Quizás no, maybe not. Okay. Dorothy, para que sepas. Okay, vamos a practicar. Las dos, the two of us. ¿Qué vas a hacer? What are you going to do?
Mi amiga y yo vamos a salir a cena.
Oh, van a salir a cenar. Muy bien.
Outside, what is outside? Outside?
Afuera.
Afuera, yes.
Afuera.
Afuera.
En un patio.
Sí.
En un patio, ¿no?
Sí.
Hay muy poco tiempo para cenar en el patio. Oh, here comes Dorothy. Okay. I'm going to hope that lets her in. Quizás en octubre se puede cenar, you know, you can, hasta octubre, noviembre, diciembre no.
Let's see. El clima en Illinois es muy fresco.
Está muy fresco.
Muy fresco. Y llovió
¿Llueve?
Más la semana pasada.
Oh, llovió. It rained. Llovió la semana pasada. Sí, entiendo.
Con
Dorothy.
chaqueta.
Oh, y necesitas una chaqueta, claro, sí. Ok. Dorothy, ¿puedes oírme? Can you hear me? Dorothy,
finally got out having a lot of troubles with the computer.
oh boy, Dorothy, we cannot
freezing, you know?
we cannot hear you. We can hear bits and pieces of what you're saying.
It's not working at all.
Oh dear. Okay. Dorothy, just listen to us because I think when you can try to speak, but we're
That's what so,
like every other word.
Yeah, I'll keep listening.
I heard 2 words. Okay. Okay. Bueno, mi familia y yo vamos a caminar en el parque muchísimo. Okay.
I'm having a lot of problems. Sorry, I couldn't.
Voy a leer más libros, Antonio.
Okay, bien. Voy a pintar el interior de mi casa durante el otoño. No me gusta. Pero voy a pintar porque hace mucho tiempo que no pinto, right? It's a really long time since I painted. Okay. Bien. Okay. I am going to end it because we're at the end of the 5 minutes, and I want to make sure I end the breakout rooms on time. So just so you know, we're going to be going back. Everybody's going to get a message saying that they're coming on out. Pobre Dorothea. Dorothy, I am so sorry that there were problems with your audio. And I don't know, that just might be the gremlins of the internet for all I know. You know, it's difícil. Okay. Vamos a ver. Okay. Hay más que vienen. There are some more folks who are coming on in. Kind of hard to predict exactly how quickly it's going to bring everybody back. Ooh. Okay, 3 seconds, 3 segundos. 3 seconds, we still have a little time. Aquí vienen, here they come. Muy bien. Vale, magnífico. ¿Tienen preguntas? ¿Tienen preguntas de este ejercicio? Do you have any questions on this exercise? Make sure you unmute yourself if you want to speak and tell me. No? No, I'm getting some background noise and I'm from somebody and I don't know where that's coming from.
I think Dorothy needs to mute.
Oh, yep, I bet it was. Okay, muy bien. Vale, ¿hay preguntas o hay ejemplos? Are there any questions or any examples you want to share? Oh, and Trish had a bunch of good sentences, it says.
I had one sentence that I wanted to share.
A ver, bueno, dinos, tell us.
And it's very timely. Voy a estudiar más duro.
Gracias, sí, claro. Okay, ¿hay más ejemplos o hay preguntas? Any other questions or examples you want to share with us? ¿Sí? ¿No? Okay. Vale, vamos a empezar. Vamos a empezar con la lección principal de hoy. La lección principal de hoy. Today's main lesson. Es de la palabra sé. I'm going to go to screen share with the whiteboard just for a little bit to write this in. Uy, ¿dónde está? ¿Qué pasó con mi pizarrón? Momentito, hang on. My whiteboard did not come up like I needed it to. It was a big blank screen. That does not help. Ooh, still a big blank screen. Wow. Okay, yep, technical glitch. Okay, I'm gonna have to type this in the chat box here because for some reason, ooh, and I think I know why. I'm gonna try it one more time. Third time's the charm, and if it doesn't work from this, oh well. For some, oh, claro que no, not yet. For some reason, I'm getting a whiteboard, but it's only, well, you know what? Maybe this will work. Yes, it will. It will be crude, but it will work. Wow. You get to watch my like 5-year-old kind of drawing because I can't get it to go to the text box. See, you know, always a technical problem, right? Siempre hay problemas técnicos. Okay, sé y sé, sé y sé. Vamos a hablar de sé. Y sé es una palabra especial en español. Sé is a really special word in Spanish because when you hear sé, it's either this first thing you see represented here, sé con acento, or it's sé, this word here. Now, they sound exactly alike. One carries an accent mark, one does not. The sé with an accent mark means, does anybody remember what that means? ¿Qué quiere decir? Sé con acento, with an accent. ¿Qué quiere decir en inglés?
No? Is that no?
No, it means I know.
No.
Okay? So that word sé con acento, I know, sounds exactly like this word sé, but using it in a sentence like, por ejemplo, se habla español en Ecuador. Se habla español. But se habla español and yo lo sé, well, sé and sé, they sound exactly alike. When you see them written down, one will carry an accent mark. So when you see it written down, it's easier to know immediately, oh, that word sé means no, right? This word sé means no, as in have now, and it means specifically I know, okay? Not you know, or we know, or they know, right? You will typically not hear that word I know just like that sé. It'll be typically, like let's say you want to say it in a negative sense. You'll typically hear it used like this, no lo sé. No lo sé. And you know the no makes it negative, but wait a minute, what's that lo doing there? The lo just means it. So a lot of times when people say, I don't know, they may just throw that little word lo in before the word sé. It's a common thing. No lo sé. I don't know. They might just say, no sé. They might just say, no sé, I don't know. They might say, no lo sé. You might hear it as, lo sé. Here's an affirmative, right? Without that idea of no. Lo sé, I know it. Or yo lo sé. If they want to be really emphatic, they might include the yo. Yo lo sé. Oh, I know it. They might even include it as a ya. Ya lo sé. Ya lo sé. Ya lo sé. Ya just means already. So, you know, all these itty bitty words, ya, yo, lo, why, yeah, boy, this gets confusing, right? But when you hear sé, meaning I know, just know that it may be grouped in any of those combinations, depending on if you want to say affirmatively, yes, I know something, or I don't know, or I already know it, right? But often used in combination with lo, just indicating that you know a certain fact, right? The lo just stands for whatever fact it is, right? That you know. How do you know when you hear the word sé that it doesn't mean this other se with no accent mark. You only know from context. In isolation, that word se loses, it's like a ship with no mooring, no anchor. Okay? So you only know what se means from the context of the other words we use around it to express an idea. Okay? So all of these kind of words grouped together tell you that that word se indicates knowledge that I have, whether I have it or I don't. Okay? But many times you will hear this word se used just grouped with other words, grouped with verbs, actually. And then that may be very confusing. It may mean many different things. We're going to look at one meaning, okay? One of about, I'm going to say about 6 different meanings that se can have. And you will actually get a whole, you will get a link at the end of lesson today to a whole package, and I'll preview a little so you'll know what it looks like. I'll send it to you via the email. You'll get a link to go into this little lesson to work this eventually on your own throughout the week. But we are going to practice it today because this first use we're going to use is not difficult to figure out. Okay, so that little word se with no accent mark, which sounds exactly like the je le sais, I know it. This word se is used, the definition is going to be in the context of something we call in Spanish the impersonal expression. Impersonal expression is just a fancy way of saying it's a phrase that does not refer to any one specific human being, not to me, not to you, the person you, but it can mean you in a general way. Por ejemplo, for example, here's one use of se. ¿Cómo se dice? ¿Cómo se dice? How does one say? Literally, that's what it means. ¿Cómo se dice? How does one say? Now, think about this a little bit. Are you a little more likely in English to say, how do you say? How do you say? How do you say cup? Or are you likely to say, how does one say cup? I am more likely in English, in inglés, I am more likely to say, how do you say cup? Right? And that you doesn't mean you, Dorothy, or you, Carlos. It doesn't mean you, that one person. It means you in general. And that's why we call this the se impersonal, right? We might interpret it as how do they do it? They meaning a very general group, not, really being specific about who they are. How do you do it? You in a very general sense, or how does one do it? Which now to us in English sounds maybe a little bit formal, how does one say? So, ¿cómo se dice? And the se dice, that's what kind of hangs together. ¿Cómo se dice? How does one say? How do they say? How do you say? Or, ¿cómo se escribe? ¿Cómo se escribe? How does one write that? ¿Cómo se escribe? Yo lo sé. Yo lo sé. Y-O-Y-O. L-O-L-O. S-E con acento. S-E with an accent. Okay, how does one write? Okay. Vamos a ver. We're going to watch a little video that is going to talk about what that generally means. You will see this video again in the big link of the big software lesson I will send you later on today. Pero vamos a ver, we're going to share this screen and watch this together porque es útil. It is really useful. I'm trying to find my button. Mi botón. Ok, vamos a ver.
Hola, en esta lección vamos a hablar acerca del sé impersonal. A while back, while I was visiting Mexico, a little boy was eating some chips. In the chips, there was this little piece of cardboard with grooves to build things with. And he saw that and told me, esto no se come, ¿verdad? Interesting. If you remember the videos on se permite and se prohíbe for talking about things that are allowed or unallowed, se permite means it's allowed, and se prohíbe means it's prohibited or it's not allowed. So maybe no se come here is like saying it isn't eaten. In fact, you could also say one doesn't eat this piece of cardboard. What do these mean exactly? I guess in English we might say instead, you don't eat this cardboard, or I shouldn't eat this cardboard. It gives the idea of, it's probably not a good idea to eat this. The se before come makes this a usage that we call the impersonal se, or passive se. We actually have seen this before without realizing it in the videos that I've mentioned with se permite and se prohíbe. But if we go even further back to one of the first videos in the entire series on the alphabet, we saw the phrases ¿Cómo se dice? And the answer, se dice. And really what we're asking is, how is it said? It's said. And we also saw ¿Cómo se escribe? And the answer, se escribe. How is it written? It's written. We call this the impersonal se or passive se because it's often used instead of naming a specific person doing the action. Let's look at some more examples. Se habla español. The literal translations here are Spanish is spoken, or one speaks Spanish if you realize that se is kind of an is something or one does the action. What do you think that actually means? We speak Spanish, we speak American, or we need Spanish. It means in that place, wherever that is, we speak Spanish. So the people speak Spanish to those that need it as a service. How about here? Se vende pollo. The literal translations would be chicken is sold, or one sells chicken. ¿Qué quiere decir? What does it mean? Everyone sells chicken here, we sell chickens here, or I am selling one chicken. The best one would be we sell chickens here, although chicken.
Okay, now I'm going to pause this. He's got two explanations. The stuff in yellow and amarillo is the literal translation. Chicken is sold, one sells chicken. And the blue is like how we might express that in English. All right, even though that se vende doesn't really mean we are doing it, he's using we in a really general sense, okay? So when you see that thing in blue, the sentence in blue is just emphasizing like how we might typically say this idea in English, even though it's not a literal translation.
Chicken is used singularly here. It's the idea of in general chicken as a food. So the person, whoever that is, sells chicken. Uno más. Se venden tortas. The literal translations here, if you know that tortas are a type of sandwich in Mexico, sandwiches are sold, or one sells sandwiches.
Now, notice how that one is not se dice, se escribe, it's se venden. It's with that N, the N at the end of venden. And that N at the end tells you plural. You know that. If what is sold, se venden, is plural, is a more than one thing, and tortas is more than one, then that verb goes to the plural form. Instead of se vende, se venden. Okay, that's all. But in this se construction, the only form that vender, to sell, can take is either vende or venden. It can either be a single thing or a plural thing. And the word after that verb venden tells you, tortas tells you plural, has to be se venden. Okay.
¿Qué quiere decir? Maybe we sell sandwiches, everyone sells sandwiches, or we eat sandwiches. Here the people advertising are saying, we sell sandwiches. These all have a se before the verb. Let's look again. Se habla español, se vende pollo, y se venden tortas. Notice that we say se venden because there's more than one thing being sold. So that's basically the impersonal or passive se. The way we form it is we take se plus the he, she form of the verb or the they form of the verb. Okay, let's look at some other examples. Some people teach that the impersonal se is often used instead of the to form, which would be called the impersonal se. We're not really saying you do it, but we're giving the idea of people do it, so we're kind of encouraging you to do it. For example, when a little boy told me, esto no se come, he was saying, you don't eat this, like don't eat this, or I don't eat this. But it could be telling me as well, hey, don't eat that, in a very impersonal way. Also, we could see this in the phrase, si se puede. And here, hacer is kind of implied, so you're saying, yes, it can be done. That is, yes, you can do it. But we're not saying it in the you form, the to form, or the usted form. The really common one you might hear from parents to their kids is, eso no se hace. Literally, that is not done. But it's telling the kids, don't do that, don't do that. No, not here, not here. And you might hear somebody say at some point, if you're dancing like me very badly, you might hear them say, así no se baila, which would be like saying, that's not how it is danced. That's not how one dances. But they're telling, that's not how you should dance. And so we're giving this idea of you, but without really saying you. And we're not making it personal, but we're making it impersonal, thus impersonal se. And to summarize again, the uses of the impersonal se or passive se, we use it when one does something, as a person does something in general, you do something, we do something, and or something is done, or some things are done. Well, it's basically the impersonal se or the passive se in Spanish. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Let me know if you have any questions or comments.
Okay. A ver, bien. Es buena introducción a la palabra se con un verbo. That's a good introduction to se with a verb. I'm going to speak a few other examples, and I will have you actually practicing this eventually. But we're going to speak some examples and see some other examples in print first. Okay, por ejemplo, a ver, con jugar, with jugar. ¿Cómo se dice, how does one say, cómo se dice jugar en inglés? Jugar.
Play.
Play, right, to play. Just that general idea of the action of playing, right? Jugar. Okay, if I change it to se juega, and remember, I need a little stem change, U-E, juega. Se juega. Se juega el fútbol, o se juega al fútbol americano en otoño, then the idea I am conveying to you is you play football in the fall. Se juega al fútbol americano, okay? Porque fútbol es soccer en español. Generalmente fútbol es soccer, no es nuestra idea de fútbol americano. Fútbol americano es football as we think of it. Okay, entonces, se juega al fútbol americano. One plays football, or you play football, or we play football en el otoño, in fall. ¿Entienden? Okay, ¿entienden? Okay, otro ejemplo. Otro ejemplo sería, se sirve mantequilla con pan. Mantequilla es butter. Se sirve mantequilla con pan. Se sirve mantequilla. One serves butter with
Bread.
bread. Se sirve just makes it really general. You serve. We serve. One serves butter with bread. Right? We're not talking about any specific person when we say se sirve. Se sirve mantequilla con pan. Ok. Bueno. En la clase de matemáticas se escribe con lápiz, no con pluma, no con pluma. En la clase de matemáticas se escribe con lápiz. In math class, you write with a
Pencil.
yeah, meaning just everybody in class, right? One writes, you write, they write. Oh, they write with a pencil in math class. ¿Sí? Para no cometer errores, para borrar, in order to erase. Okay? Vale, magnífico. Okay, so usually it's going to be like se juega, a singular verb. Se habla español, se habla inglés en Estados Unidos. ¿Qué se hace? What does one do? ¿Qué se hace? ¿Qué se hace en una iglesia? What does one do in a church? ¿Qué se hace en una iglesia? Somebody's asking you for what kind of behavior is okay. ¿Bien? Okay. Por ejemplo, otro ejemplo. You know, you're going to hear it more often in a singular sense, but I'm going to show you when it's not, okay? Se abre. Se abre el banco. Se abre el banco. One opens the bank, or the bank is opened. Se abre el banco a las 9. Okay? So when you're like wandering in a town as a tourist, como turista, and you want to ask what time something opens or what time something closes, or when one is served dinner, right? You'll use this, or you'll hear them saying this back to you very, very frequently about general actions that one does, typically. Se abre el banco a las 9. The bank is opened at 9. Se abre. Okay? But in all these cases of se abre el banco, the bank is one thing, right? Se juega al fútbol americano. Fútbol americano, una cosa, one thing, right? Se habla español. Español, una cosa, one thing. So it's se habla, se abre, se juega. Okay? All singular. Sometimes, not as frequently, but it very easily can happen. Sometimes it will be a plural verb, but then you're just going to stick that little sound of n, on the end of the verb, okay? When you need it to be plural, it means that thing that is done, whatever that action is a plural thing. Como, por ejemplo, like, for example, como, por ejemplo. Se compran muchas frutas en Sprouts. Se compran muchas frutas. The thing that is bought is frutas, many kinds of fruits, right? And because the word I'm using, frutas, happens to be plural, right? I need a se compran. One buys lots of different fruits at Sprouts. Se compran muchas frutas en Sprouts. Se compran. Se compran. Because I'm using frutas, okay? That's the only reason why. Oh, por ejemplo, se venden zapatos en Amazon, ¿no? they sell shoes on Amazon, don't they? Se venden zapatos. Se venden zapatos. Shoes are sold. They sell shoes, you sell shoes on Amazon, lo que sea, okay? Bien? And because zapatos is plural, we need se venden, okay? O se repiten las palabras nuevas, se repiten las palabras nuevas. The new words are repeated, or you repeat the new words, or they repeat the new words. Okay, lo que sea, whatever it may be. And because palabras nuevas is plural, we need se repiten. All right, so I think you'll hear that a little less than the singular form, but somebody may need to use it if they're expressing, if they're talking about something that's a plural. ¿Está bien? ¿Tienen preguntas? Antes de empezar, before we do some practice, do you have any questions for me? ¿Hay preguntas o no? No? Okay, vamos a practicar un poquito. We're going to practice a little bit more. We're going to take one training wheel off, leave the other one on, okay? We're going to take a look at something. I hope this shows up nice and big. Vamos a ver. Before I send you off to actually practice speaking with everybody else in groups, and I won't put you in twos, I'll put you in threes for this next one. Before we do that, before we go off into breakout rooms, we're going to take a look at some of these, and I'll give you the link to this so that you can do it yourself, because I think if you log in a different time, I think it will mix up the order of these and do them in a different order. So it will look kind of fresh to you if you do this on your own, should you desire to do this. Okay, vamos a ver, and I will help you a little bit with this. Actually, I would love to see, if I can turn control over, I could. Would you prefer to try to type this in if I give you control of the screen? Would anybody want to do that, or do you want me to do the first couple on my own here? No, nadie, no? See, okay, I'll do maybe a couple, and then if somebody wants to volunteer to do one, let me know, Okay. Poder es can, able to, ¿verdad? So if somebody wants to say, hey, you can't go in here, you can't go in, they're going to use this idea, but they're going to do something with poder. They're going to say, no
se puedo.
No se puede. Puede. No se puede. No se puede, no se puede entrar aquí. No se puede entrar aquí. No se puede entrar aquí. And by doing this, by the way, they're making this idea of impersonal is nice, because in Latin culture, they're very big on not trying to be so foot on the accelerator, hard hitting, hard driving. Impersonal se is a way of softening, not being so pushy. Letting you know this is expected, but not being pushy about it. Okay, that's the idea. No se puede entrar aquí. One cannot go in here. Y no se puede. Oh, they just wanted se puede. They didn't want me to write the whole sentence. That's why I'm getting it wrong. I'm like, why is that saying wrong? They just wanted se puede. Okay. And they didn't want the whole thing rewritten. Okay. Aquí. Let's see if we can, not put the extraneous thing. Not you, the one person needs to eat, but you need to eat. One needs to eat.
Se necesita comer. Se necesita.
And not necesito, se
Necesita.
necesita. Se necesita comer. So that's a nice way, a non-pushy way of saying, hey, you need to eat. One needs to eat. Okay? Bien? Vale? See? Okay, see, it didn't want me to write comer, and that's why. These computers only know what they are programmed to see on the screen. Okay, a ver. Así means so, or thus, or in that way. So if you want to express the idea of, you don't say it like that. You don't say it like that. The like that is así no. Así no.
Dice.
Say DC.
No se dice. Así no se dice. Así no se dice. You don't say it like that. Like that is the don't, and the like that are the así no. It's hard to translate, right? Así no is the idea of no and like that. Así no se dice. Oh, you don't say it like, oh, vaso. Vaso, glass. Oh, así no se dice. Se dice taza. Se dice la taza. Okay, bien. Así no se dice. You don't do it like that. Okay. No permitir comida en el teatro. Foods forbidden in the theater. Food's not allowed in the theater. No.
Say permite.
No se permite. Now we know it's not permiten because comida is
Singular.
una cosa, one thing, singular, es singular, ¿sí? No se permite comida en el teatro. No se permite comida. Food's not allowed or food's not permitted. Okay, vamos a ver. Here's what you do. Here's what you do. Here's what one does in a library, en la biblioteca.
Lee.
Leo.
Se lee en la biblioteca. Se lee en la biblioteca. No se habla en la biblioteca. You don't talk. No se habla. No se juega. You don't play. No se juega en la biblioteca. No se corre. You don't run around. No se corre en la biblioteca, right? What you have to tell little kids. They let you take pictures in the museum. They let you. They allow that.
Se permite. No.
Se permite.
Permite.
And you see why these are things that people will say to you when you're out and about como turista, as a tourist, right? You can do this. You're allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do this. You see how common this is for people talking to you, right? And trying to give you an idea. Se permite sacar fotos. Now, why is that not plural?
Why is it not plural?
We got fotos. Wait a minute. Fotos. Dos, tres, cuatro. ¿Por qué no? ¿Por qué no se permiten? Because of this word here, sacar. Sacar es una acción. Sacar es una acción. Sacar is an action. And when we're not really saying, okay, we are indirectly, but when you're pairing up sacar fotos, even though fotos is plural, the thing that is allowed is taking the photos. So whenever we have un infinitivo, cuando tenemos un infinitivo, when we've got an infinitive, we're really saying that this action is allowed, and actions are always considered to be one thing. Just like with gustar. That same thing happens with gustar. Me gusta sacar fotos. I like to take pictures. Me gusta sacar fotos. Me gusta sacar fotos. They're talking about this action on the shutter. They're not talking about fotos. So it's the same thing here. Se permite sacar fotos. Sacar is what we're focusing on. Sacar, taking the photographs, is what's permitted. Okay? Vale. Tratar is to, in this case, it means to treat. And huéspedes are guests. So what this is saying is one treats guests very well.
So that's traten. Traten.
Tratan.
Say traten.
Se tratan. Okay, I'm going to type in what you've told me. Oh, just trata. Just trata.
Because
Yeah.
infinitive, well, it's
Because huéspedes are what is kind of receiving the action. That's why it's trata and not tratan. Don't worry about that one too much. Some of these will be a little bit harder than others. Okay. Obvio. Big obvious one. They serve ice cream here.
Sirve.
And this has a stem change with an I. Con la I, the sound I. Se sirve. Se sirve el helado aquí. Se sirve el helado. What's served? Ice cream. Una cosa. Bien. Soccer is practiced in the park. One practices soccer in the park, not in the library, not in school, in the park.
Have to
se practica.
Se practica. Se practica el fútbol en el parque. Se practica el fútbol en el parque. Ok, a ver. To do exercise is hacer ejercicio. We have to use those two together. One exercises.
Se hace.
Se hace.
Se.
Se hace ejercicio para mantener el cuerpo, un cuerpo sano, a healthy body. Sano here means healthy,
Okay.
right? Think sanitary as in like a wonderful thing. Oh, health is a wonderful thing, okay? Un cuerpo sano, a healthy body. Mantener, maintain. In other words, in order to keep your body healthy, right? Se hace ejercicio. Okay, a ver. Quizás dos más, maybe two more or tres más. Siempre, one always has to study, to learn.
Tiene. Se tiene.
Sept.14. And that maybe is not the most typical example, but okay. Spanish is spoken. One speaks Spanish. Se habla.
habla.
Fácil. Wow, the easy one. Algo fácil. Okay. They sell fruit at the market.
Se vende.
Se vende.
Depende.
Se vende fruta en el mercado. Okay. Wow, you study a lot at the university. You have to study a lot. You study a lot.
Se estudia.
Se estudia. Se estudia. Okay? Se estudia. So, we're going to look just at these. We're going to stop. You can see you could go all the way up to 40, right? So there are a whole bunch that can be done, okay? But we're going to come back here and see. Hay preguntas. Are there questions you have before? I'm going to set you off to practice this in a little minute here.
Marilyn? I actually put a question in the chat box.
Oh, perdón, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. It's an easy one.
Oh, if you get an answer wrong, will it let you try again? I don't think it does. I think it just tells you what you got wrong. Okay? I think that's all it will do. But I wanted you to see some wrongs too, so that you'll know how it will pop up when it tells you a wrong. So, that does 40 questions. And I'll give you the link for that. I'll put it in here in the chat box as well, just in case. I know sometimes when we do family chats, there are people who like to take it and pull up a new tab and plug it in right away. So if you want to do that, you can, but you don't have to. I will send you the link to that in the email. Bueno, hay preguntas. Are there any questions? Because I'm going to set you off to go and do this in small groups, okay? En un minuto, in a minute. What I want you to do is to come up with your own ideas of how we might use se. But I want you to use some specific verbs. I want to give you something. I don't want to throw you in the deep end with no lifesaver. Okay? Lo que vamos a hacer, I'm going to put this down in the chat box. I'm going to give you the verbs, the general verbs I want you to use, okay, to come up with some examples. I am going to give you cocinar. I am going to give you servir. I am going to give you cerrar, cerrar, to close. I am going to give you abrir. I am going to give you poder.
Marilyn, we can see what you type.
Can't see
Oh
anything.
yeah, you will see it in a minute. I'm going to put it up as a big list. Okay. You don't see it yet because I haven't put it up yet. Actually, I'm still typing in poder infinitivo. You are going to use permitir. And you are going to use prohibir. I am going to put prohibir. En prohibir, I'm going to put the form you need because actually that is going to have an accent mark, which doesn't matter that much, but you probably haven't seen that conjugated very much. So, okay, now I'm going to put it up. Aquí viene, here it comes. Cocinar, to cook. Oh, servir, I have two E's in there. Es un error, perdón. I got a fat finger that held down that E too much. Servir, S-E-R, S-E-R, not S-E-E-R, perdón. Cocinar, servir, cerrar, abrir. Poder with an infinitive.
Put it back up again. It went down when you recorrected it. Post it again.
You want me to post the whole list again?
Yes, por favor.
Cocinar, servir, cerrar, abrir, poder. Poder you must use with an infinitive. Okay. Can you see all those now? Puedes ver, puedes ver, puedes ver. Okay. Okay, so cocinar, one cooks or you cook. You might want to say you cook something with oil. You don't cook this at all, right? You cook chicken a certain way, you know, anything. Okay, cocinar, servir, cerrar, to close, meaning a place closes up, right? Or you could even say that as a door or a window, of course. Abrir, to open. Poder, and poder you must use with an infinitive, right? I mean, sometimes we do just say se puede, you can, but you can do something, right? Se puede with an infinitive, right? And permitir, I still, yeah, see, I'm sorry, my fingers are not working very well. Permitir, permite, right? Se permite. Prohibir. Something is allowed, something is forbidden. So, cocinar, servir, cerrar, abrir, poder, permitir, prohibir. 7. I want you to come up with some ideas using as many of these verbs as you can. I'm going to put you off into groups of, they're generally going to be about 3. It might send a few of you off into a group of 4, but we're going to, okay. And remember, you are going to have to tell it. You are going to have to tell or hit the join button when you go off. Okay. ¿Tienen preguntas? Do you have any questions before I? Ooh, options. Wow. I want to change my groups. Oh, goodness. Well, here's a new wrinkle. Generally, it lets me combine groups. It only, oh, because I only put you into groups of 2. I'm going to see. Okay, we're going to see if we can exchange and put some people. We're going to move some people into different rooms. It's forcing me to be creative here. Okay. I think everybody is going to be in a group of 3. Remember to hit that join button, and I am going to give you guys probably about a good 7 minutes, maybe 10, 10 minutes, you think reasonable? Es mejor. Better? Es mejor. 10 minutes to work on this? ¿Sí? Bien. Okay. 10 minutos. 10 minutes. If you have a problem, signal me. But remember to hit the join button, and it'll give you a countdown 1 minute before I close it. Dorothy, can you get in? There we go. Yeah.
I lost my connection while we were in
Okay,
there.
that's all right. Let me see if I can get you back. Why is it not showing me room
Group
two?
two. Group two. Yep.
Group two. Oh, come on,
Diane and Sue.
button. Okay, hang on, Jeff. I don't know why it's not showing me group two. You know what? I think it's going to make me move you to a different group. Why
That's
is
okay.
it doing that?
That's
Okay, no,
okay.
it's all right. It's not a problem. It's just that I wanted to move you back in. It's not showing me room. Oh wait, okay. Do you see a join button to get back into room two or not?
No.
No, okay. For some reason, it's going to force me to move you into a different group, so I apologize. But
No, that's
you go.
all right. That's okay.
here you go.
Thanks.
And okay, there we go. Yay. Okay, we got a few folks waiting to join us. Here comes everybody. Okay, muy bien. ¿Cómo se fue? How'd it go? ¿Tienen ejemplos? You have some examples you'd like to share?
I will share one and con una pregunta.
Okay, bien.
Okay. Siempre se ve vaso de agua en el restaurante.
Okay, and the first couple words?
Siempre se sirve.
Se sirve? One
Yeah.
serves?
Yeah.
Sí.
Siempre se sirve vaso de agua en el restaurante.
En el restaurante, sí, se sirve.
So my question is, the siempre should be at the front, or
Um,
siempre is in between
Siempre is probably best up front. Siempre se sirve. Siempre se sirve, always one serves. Yeah. It generally, yeah. You would need to have it in front there. Yeah, that's a word order thing. But that's kind of important. Yeah, siempre, always. Or, you know, if it were never, it would be nunca, right? Nunca se sirve. You know, then it would be a complaint. Nunca se sirve. Yeah, they never serve water. Nunca se sirve el agua. Okay. Bien, buena pregunta. Okay, me gusta. I like that one. ¿Qué más? Okay, sí, Trish. Dinos, tell us.
I want to make sure this is the right word order. Se cierra el banco a las 5 de la mañana.
Perfecto.
So oh, it is. Okay, so el banco goes after se cierra.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to
Okay,
make
so
sure.
you're noticing with these se things, they come in front of most of that other stuff, you know, right? Usually. And yeah, that's a word order thing, but sí, correcto. Now, okay, I'm going to say this. Somebody might say, oh, el banco, sí, se cierra, it closes. El banco se cierra, yeah, the bank. They might put the el banco in front. Hay flexibilidad, you know, there's some flexibility, but generally it's se cierra el banco.
Okay.
But somebody might flip the order of the words. They might, es posible. It is possible. Okay.
Bueno.
¿Más ejemplos o más preguntas?
See,
No, okay, dinos, tell us.
now is this like the one with the photos? I want to say prohíbe abrir las ventanas en el avión. But you don't pluralize the verb. It's the singular because the abrir is the verb. Got it.
Exacto.
Got it.
Se prohíbe, and remember we won't pronounce the H, it's written,
Se
but we don't say.
prohíbe.
Se prohíbe abrir las ventanas en el avión. Ay, Dios mío, sí. Exactamente. Muy bien.
Okay.
Muy bien. Es buen ejemplo. Se prohíbe abrir las ventanas en el avión, claro.
Yeah.
¿Hay más ejemplos que quieren compartir?
I can do.
Okay, Mary.
Se prohíbe comenzar en la película.
Okay. Muy bien. It's forbidden.
Yeah.
Exacto. Me gusta muchísimo. Bueno, ¿hay más ejemplos? Okay.
No, one more.
Sí, sí.
No se permite fumar en la oficina.
No se permite fumar.
Wow.
No se permite fumar. Muy importante. No se permite fumar. Right? Yeah, if somebody wants to ask permission, right? They might ask, se puede fumar. Se permite fumar. Yeah, exactamente. Muy bien. ¿Hay más ejemplos? ¿Hay más ejemplos o no?
No se puede hablar en la clase.
No se puede hablar en la clase. No se puede hablar. Aquí se puede. Aquí se puede. Here you can. Aquí se puede. Cuando somos muy de niños, sí, entonces no se puede hablar muchas veces en la clase. Yeah, with little ones, sometimes no. Okay, fantástico. Muy bien. Lo que vamos a hacer, what we're going to do, one thing, well, you see, I need to kind of preface this a little bit. You're going to have a couple of things to do for homework, okay? And it's all going to be working on this, say, business. Well, no, one item will be working on say, the other one will not. The other one is very, very general. Okay. One item you're going to get as a big software package. Please know, you do not have to like download anything or join an app or, you know, any stuff like that. I think it may ask, it may ask you like a name or an email. I mean, you know, it may ask you that. But there's one software package, but I'm going to show you what it will look like so you know. And the nice thing of my being able to use this is that I will be able to send you all the various pieces of the lesson package in one email link, one link, okay? And it would really be helpful if I shared that page. So you're going to see what it looks like. Uy, vamos a ver. Okay. I'm going to show you what this will look like. This is on a software system, which is called Nearpod. Yeah. But it will look like this. Oh, this item. And I'm just going to show you the preview. And actually, yes, I think I can make this big. Yes. So when you get the link and you click on the link, I think it may ask you for your name once you submit an exercise, but it won't do much more than that. So this will give you like some slides, like this slide here, which gives you the general rule of how you use the se, right? So if you took notes, but you forgot something, you know, you can look here and notice this slides up and down. So, you know, there's more information. If you see the gray thing on the left, you can slide down to see more examples, okay? So it's going to start out with a slide, and then it's going to embed this exact same video you saw in class, same thing. You can skip that, or you can watch it again. Whatever you want to do. So if you want to watch that again to refresh your memory, or you want to take some notes on it, you can listen to this video again. I'm going to move on and I'm going to tell you, oh, remember, we can combine these interrogatives with the say idea to ask questions. Okay, so this is kind of the preface for what you're going to be doing for some written work. Now here comes the part where you're going to add your ideas. You're going to add your ideas. You are going to use this like taking Post-it notes and sticking them on a board, okay? Or taking little pieces of paper and thumbtacking them on a cork board. It's going to be like that, except you're going to do it electronically. And it's going to give you this as an example. You're going to see preguntas con una palabra interrogativa y el se impersonal. And that says questions with an interrogative word. That means a question word. And the se impersonal. And if you say to yourself, wait a minute, what does she mean interrogativa? You can go back, you can do the back arrow. These are the words I'm going to want you to use if you don't remember what a palabra interrogativa is. These are interrogative words, who, what, when, where, why, the question words, okay? Now I go back to the homework and I say, oh yeah, now I know what she means by palabra interrogativa. And it says in smaller words under that, expresa una pregunta, express a question. So that means you're going to make a question. You're going to create a question. And you're going to use the se impersonal. But you're going to add a como or a cuando or a donde or a que. And how you're going to do that is you're going to come way down here. Do you see down in the bottom where you've got the white blank screen, the little tiny white strip or white tab at the bottom? That's where you're going to type. That's where you're going to type. So you might type something like, ooh, and I might not have my, I do have my Spanish on, yay. ¿Cómo se dice wine? Whoop. En español. And then, really important, when you type this question in that white tab at the bottom, you must hit post. Now, do you see what happened? When I type it in the bottom tab in white, and then I hit the post, it pops up, and there's a little post-it. Ooh, there's a little post-it. So I would like you to type a question, and the question used como with a se expression. You might, I would like you to use each of those one time. Use como once, use cuando once, use donde once, use que once. All right? So you're gonna post 4 different ideas, okay? And this board will fill up to be however big it needs to be, right? So, yeah, doesn't matter, no importa. I'm checking to see, ooh, I think I'm not in the right mode. I think it will let you like put a little heart if you read somebody else's question and you like it. I think it allows you to do that, but really just worry about post 4 little questions, one using que, como, one using cuando, one using donde, one using que. All right. ¿Cómo se dice wine? Sí, bien.
When we post our question on here, do you want us to identify who posted it? Because it doesn't look like it shows that you posted it.
No, I think it will do, I think it does that for me. I don't know, I'm trying to remember how you see it. Y perdón, excuse me. I do not remember if, I think it posts your name on that little post-it. If it does not, there is a way that I look, my view of it will tell me that I see your work. Okay,
I think it did post our name. I think it did post our name. What it didn't allow us to do was to delete or correct a mistake once it was posted.
And that might be. Yeah. Now, if you don't have a keyboard that will allow you to put accent marks on, don't sweat that detail. Don't worry about that. You know, the important thing is to get your idea posted, not to, you know, fret about accent marks, okay? Because if you find it frustrating to say, how do I put an accent mark in there? Don't worry about it. I mean, there is a way you can put a keyboard on, but it's kind of different for every machine, so I really don't want to tell you, but you could Google it if you want. But don't worry if you haven't got that. It will allow you, however, you may wonder, what is this little button? There's a little button that looks like a moon or a sun with some little mountains. It allows you to post a picture. Don't feel you have to, but you know, you could if you wanted to. Okay, you're going to do that. So you have that to help you remember what are the interrogatives. You're going to post your little ideas. And now, oh, there is a second video. This is a new one. I know it looks like that first one because it's the same guy, same t-shirt. But notice it's got a numero uno, number 1. And that's got a practice session on say. So he's going to give you more ways to practice this, more examples to practice it. You'll probably want to hit the pause button as you watch that, you know, very likely. So this will give you some practice with say. It's a video to do it. I will give you a separate link for the other website. But you'll notice when I give you, you know, I don't have to give you a whole lot of different links. This is going to combine a lot of different things together so that you don't have so many links to have to follow. Okay, bien? Good? Vale, magnífico. I will give you the link for this study because, you know, this idea thing we did at the beginning of class, because it'll do all kinds of different questions. I think it'll just reset when you click into it, and it'll give you, you know, many different exercises. So you'll be doing a lot of practice with this Impersonal. Lots and lots of different practice questions, you know, up to 40 of them. So you're going to have some in the video, you'll have some with this, and you'll be posting your ideas with this. Bien? Está bien. Are we good so far? Magnífico. Okay. A ver. So that is going to be the Se lesson. I'm going to check with you first because I don't want to overload you. There is one different unrelated practice we can have that is a speaking practice for me to listen to. Do you want to do that this week? Or is what you have so far enough and it'll be overkill? Do you want one extra 1 minute? And I want to emphasize, it's a 1 minute practice. Do you want one more where you get to actually speak and do a recording or not? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And I'm going to look how many thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, I'm going to preview one more thing. It's going to look slightly different because I've got it posted right now for a little bit higher level class. And I need to bring it to a little simpler level for you guys. But this will show you what it looks like, okay? So this is not the exact site, but I am going to show you what it will look like. It is a, ooh, where's my share screen? Here's my share screen. Okay. All right. Here we go. It's going to look like this. And I'm going to phrase your questions a little bit differently because these are questions that use some past tense. And you guys aren't ready to do that yet. And actually it uses a couple of things that you don't want to do. Okay. It's going to look like this. It is going to say tu mejor amigo. That part's the same. It is going to say tu mejor amigo. But I'm going to rephrase some of the questions you see in the big blue box, right? Some of the questions will be the same, but some will be rephrased to make them easier with less past tense and less complicated structures. But basically, you're going to take 1 minute, un minuto, and you're going to be shocked and sweating bullets over how long a minute is going to feel. I'm going to tell you, you know what, really, you talk with anybody, you think, oh, a minute, I can do that. And then you start to see those little seconds. It's like, oh my gosh, I've got to say more. Yeah, a minute is longer than you think. But basically what you're going to do is you're just going to click on this button and you're going to talk and it will record it. Now with this, I do think it is probably going to either ask you for an email or something so that it knows how to submit it. It's going to do something. Anyway. It may ask you for a little more information on this, but it will record your voice and it will send it to me. Yay! So I get to listen to you. Now, with all of these little things, you know, this is only a 1 minute thing, but this is kind of for me to just sort of hear what kind of things are clicking and what things we're going to need to work on a little bit more to get them sounding a little smoother. So don't feel like super self-conscious, and it is really okay if you make some mistakes with this, but basically you're going to talk about your best friend. And I'm going to make some easier questions to guide you through that. So you're going to read whatever comes up in the blue blurb, And those are just guidelines. You can do different things that are not listed in the blue directions screen. But I just want you to talk. And from that, I'm going to get a little better feel of, you know, what's going well, where there are some little rough edges that we'll need to work on all together as a group, because I guarantee, you know, everybody's going to have some little rough edges. That's okay. But it helps me pinpoint where we need to work a little bit more. ¿Comprende? Understand? Yeah? Okay. Vale. Magnifico. So I'll have you do a little recording. With these, if with the Post-it board and with this recording, I would ask, here the software is going to give me feedback. So please try to do that by about 6 o'clock Sunday. Because if I'm getting submissions from people at 10 p.m. on Sunday, I'm sorry to tell you, at 10 p.m. on Sunday, I'm not going to be looking at the computer. Sorry, you know. I mean, there may be a shot, but there's likely I'm not going to get time. So, you know, try to get it done by 6 p.m., say Sunday at the latest. That gives you a whole bunch of days, 6 good days to work on that at your leisure. Okay? ¿Entienden? Understand? Magnifico. Oh, I went over time. Okay, perdón. Okay, I went over time a little bit, but that gives you a variety, a little bit of speaking to do, a little bit of writing to do, and just some things you can do on your own on the computer where it's going to give you your own feedback, either via the email, or excuse me, via the video or via the website. Bien? Okay, vale. Eso es todo. That's it. Se acabó. It's done. But it gives you quite a variety of different things to do. And if you've got any questions through the week, shoot me a quick email, right? So that works too. ¿Está bien? Bueno, nos vemos el lunes. We'll see you next Monday. We'll throw in a little review with, you know, this and that. And we'll move on from there. ¿Está bien?
Bien.
Vale, muy bien.
Gracias.
De
Gracias.
nada, que tengan buena semana. Have a good week. We're going to get nicer temperatures. Hace fresco, no, hace calor un poquito, pero sí,
Adiós.
pronto será mejor. Soon it will be better. Hará mejor. Ajá, hará mejor, hace buen tiempo, todos los días no. Quizás muchos días hace buen tiempo. We're getting into better weather now. So maybe many days we'll have some better weather. Okay, está bien. Nos vemos pronto.
Okay, adiós.
Adiós. Hasta luego.